Hello everyone, this is Stephanie. Welcome to another video. So today we're going to work on the Buds and Bloom bracelet. And this bracelet goes with the Buds and Bloom necklace that I just finished the video on. And I will put a link in the description box below this video to the necklace if you're interested in making the necklace. And I'll also pop it up there on the screen. All right, so here's the one I was working on. Here's the finished one. I'll put those aside. We'll take a quick look at the bracelet. So here it is. It's a really nice bracelet. It curves really nicely. It's flat on the inside and it bumps up on the outside. See that? Okay, and I have this magnetic clasp on here, and what's nice about it is that when you put it on and you let it clasp, there's no stress on this clasp. The curve is built into the way it's stitched. So I can, do one of these, and it's not, I've been wearing it for 3 days, and grocery shopping and such, and it hasn't come off. If you're worried, you can always use a different clasp or put a little safety chain on here. All right, so I'm going to clear the decks and we'll get a materials list going and we'll get started on this bracelet. All right, see you in a few. Okay, let's get our materials list going. So you're going to need some pearls here, and I'm using a 5mm pearl and a 4mm pearl, and I will put all the amounts and the places where I purchased them, the colors and everything in the description box below the video, so don't forget to click that down arrow, the show more, and it'll give you all this info. All right, so I have a 5 and a 4. I have a 3x2mm rondelle, and I have a 1x2mm rondelle. Now, just before I go on, I'm anticipating that you're going to ask me if you can use all 4s. Now, I just want to show you the difference between a 4mm and a 5mm bead. It's a pretty big difference, so you're not going to get this look if you use all one size. You need to use the 2 different sizes. That being said, if you want to give it a shot with the 4, or a 6 I think would be rather large, you can go ahead and do that. But I encourage you to start keeping some 5mm beads in your stash. If you want to. It really is a nice bead to have. And, there's some good sales going on right now, so consider that. All right, so that's what you need. This 3x2mm is just this embellishment over the top, like in between the pearls on the top. Any bead that fits there, you can put there. You don't have to get these special. I just happen to have these, and I love the way they look. You can put an 8/0 there. Or you can put maybe a 2mm bicone, or maybe a druck bead. I'm not, just see what you have. And then the 1x2mm rondelle is the embellishment around the sides. So here and here, in between these pearls, you can fit an 11/0 in there. So, or another bead if you happen to have another bead. So, and also those 2mm spacers, the true 2 spacers, that would be cool in there. And also maybe if you have a Heishi bead, it would be nice in there. So you have some options there. All right, so that's that. You'll need a clasp. I'm using this magnetic clasp. Here I have a couple of them. And this is a 10mm. I'll put where I purchased it in the description box below the video. You can use any clasp you like. Okay, and now I wanted to talk about this for a minute. So this little spacer here, see that? Before the clasp that I put on here, just as a decorative piece, because it looks, it covers the loop on the clasp here. See that? Okay, that's better on the gunmetal. So that's why I put that there, to cover that loop. So what this is it's actually a bail. And I didn't have any spacers, that's why I used it, but I'm going to tell you what I used and then give you some other options. So this is a 13mm Tierracast Oasis bail, it's called. That's the design. It's got a nice big interior hole, and you want the opening to be big so you can fit this loop in. See that? So what I did is I clipped off this loop. So when they measure a 13mm, they measure, because it's a bail, they measure from here to here. If I take the loop off, it's about 10mm. So if you can find a 10mm spacer that has a nice big opening, this is about 6mm, this opening, 6 or 7. You see how it fits in there nice, and it's going to cover that loop. You want to make sure it covers that loop. There are a lot of spacers out there, but they have small holes in the middle, and that loop might not fit in. So you want to check it, make sure it's about a 6mm loop that you've got there. All right, so I hope that was, so if you want, you can just order these bails and clip off the loop like I did, or find some kind of loop. You can make a make it yourself. You can put anything. You put some beads here, you know, do a little peyote, whatever you want. But this is what I used. All right, you'll need a size 10 beading needle, 8-pound Fireline, and I've got a stop bead right here. Okay, so that's what you're going to need. So gather up your materials and we'll get started making this bracelet. All right, see you in a few. Okay, let's start. So thread your needle with about 5 or 6 feet of thread. Put on a stop bead and leave enough of a tail to sew in. So we're going to put on your needle a 5mm, a 4, a 5, and a 4. I'm going to drop those down. Oops. I'm going to make them into a circle. So I'm going to sew up through all the beads from the stop bead end. It's going to go around all the beads just to reinforce. Keep coming around. Pass your stop bead. Like that. All right, and then come through the white bead. So that's the larger bead. This is what I have. I'm just going to clip my tail off. I made my tail just a teeny bit too long. Okay. For camera anyway, you keep yours, you know, enough to sew in. All right, so here I am. I'm going to pick up a 4mm, a 5mm, and a 4. Coming out of here, just going to come around like that. Just going to work my way around the beads to that white bead. Just like that. That's what you have. Now we're going to connect these two ends. Okay, so pick up we're going to just actually connect these two, just like this, to make a unit. Don't panic. It is a little bit of, I think, praw here, but just, you can do this. Okay, pick up a 4mm. Just come through here. So you're coming out of this 5mm, you're just going around to come through this one. Right? So put that on like that. Don't worry about it. Okay? And then pick up another one. And just, so you're coming out of this one, just come through this one. Now you have a little unit. And it's not a cube, it's I'm not sure what it is. Okay. So we're coming out of this white bead. Just advance through this gray bead. Okay, just like that. I'm going to pull in a little bit. So I'm coming out of that gray bead. So I'm just going to turn my unit around so the gray beads are facing me. See, just like that. And then I'm going to sew around all the gray beads, just to connect them. Just like that. Just sew them around them completely. And that way you'll have 3 little threads connecting all your beads. So if you look around, see, I have 3 threads. Here, here, and here. All right, so now we have to see where we have to connect the beads again. So the beads, the gray beads on this side don't have that last road or thread right there. So I'm just going to go over there. So I'm coming out of this gray bead. I'm just going to pop through this white bead. Remove my tail. And then, so I'm coming through the white bead, and I'm just going to hop over to the gray so I get to the top. Like that. And then I'm just going to connect all 3 beads. Here. Let's go around the beads. That's 3. Now I'm all connected. This is exactly what you want. You want to be coming out of that gray bead. See that? So all my beads are connected. There's a little road in between each bead. So we'll just get that done and then meet me back here and we'll continue. You can do this. All right, see you in a few. Okay, we're back. So let's continue. So we're coming out of the gray bead. Going to pick up a white, a gray, and a white. Coming out of here, just come back around like that. Rotate your piece. Come through the next gray bead. Let's see if I can pull a little bit tighter here. Pick up a white and a gray. Come through this bead. If I can get it. There we go. That was tough. Okay, there we go. Come through the white bead. And up the gray bead. Rotate. Advance your needle through the next gray bead. Come through the white bead. Pick up a gray. Through the white one. Up through the gray one. Through the white one on the top. Rotate. Come up the gray bead. Now you're just going to sew all these beads together. So come around all the grays. Just like that. Do it one more time. 5mm, 4mm, 5mm. Coming out of here. Come around through the other side. Rotate. Advance your needle through the next bead. Pick up a white one and a gray one. Through the white one. And up the gray. Rotate the piece towards you. Advance through the gray. Through that top white bead. Pick up a gray. Come through this one. Put that last bead on. Up through the gray bead. Through the white bead on the top. Rotate. Come through the gray bead. Now you're going to sew these together. So just come around all the beads. Just like that. That's what you're going to do all the way down. Let me back off a teeny bit. So you see what you have here? You've got you're flat on one side, and you're gonna lay one side down, and then it's gonna bump up like a triangle. So the triangle is gonna go up above. All right. So that's exactly what you're going to do. So rewind if you have to, and just keep going until you get the size of your bracelet, minus the clasp and this part here. So you're going to have to measure. I'm going to show you how it fits on my wrist. It took me 22 units, so counting 1, 2, 3, to get my 7-inch bracelet. And well, actually, let me give you the one that's already done so you can see how it fits. So do you see how it fits almost like a bangle? I mean, it's close to the wrist, but there's some space in there. There's no pressure on the wrist. It's not super tight. So, and I can move it. So you're just going to have to measure. So this is about an inch right here. So I'm going to take an inch less than the size of my bracelet, or the size of my wrist around this area. Okay, so what you'll have to do is, as you bead, before you end it off, you're just going to hold it around your wrist, and you're going to just, judge where you think your inch is going to be, where you're going to have an inch, a half inch on each side, and that should really do it. All right, so just you'll have to play with that a little bit to get your sizing right. As I said, for my bracelet, and I usually wear a 7-inch bracelet, it took me 22 units. All right, so have fun, and then meet me back here and we'll continue. Okay, we're back. So I have my length done, and I did 22 pearls, and it's perfect fit for me. So just make sure, I'll give it one more try here, just make sure that you have a little bit of space there, because you want to, be able to, you want to get that clasp in, and you don't want it to be too big, okay? So you want it close to your wrist, but, not too close. All right. So here we are. I'm coming out of one of the end pearls. Doesn't matter which one you're coming out of. So your bracelet is going to be like a triangle. It's going to be flat here, right? So we're going to have a flat side right there, and then it's going to bump up here at the top. So you want to situate it on the flat end. So just make sure that they're sitting flat. And then you want your thread. You're coming out of this, one of the gray beads. You just want to come through the white one, what you've chosen to be your top bead right there. So I'm just going to needle through that one. Okay, and then this is where you're going to put on the 3x2 millimeter rondelle, or whatever bead you like. So I'm going to pick up the rondelle, and I'm just going to go through the next bead. So I've established what's going to be my top, the top of my bracelet. You might be able to fit a bicone in there, or an 8/0, or a little tiny druck bead. What about a 2 millimeter druck bead? So I'm going to put a few of them on just to show you how it's going to start to curve, and you want that to happen. You want to pull them. You don't want to pull them so tight that you rack it out. You just want to, get them in there and, pull them in, give it a little pull. And you see how it's starting to curve? That's exactly what you want. And don't worry about it. It will curve. Even if it curves a little, then uncurves. It will curve when you come down to the end. So just keep doing this with your 3x2 millimeter pearls, rondelles, until you get to the end. And then meet me back here and we'll get to the other side. All right, see you in a few. Okay, we're back. So now I've gotten all my 3x2 millimeter beads on, and I'm coming out of the white pearl. The thread's going on here. Okay, so I'm coming out of the white pearl right there. I'm just going to come through one of the gray ones on the side, so the smaller pearl, just to set me up to put the smaller rondelles in between these pearls. So then here I'm coming out of this. I'm just going around the unit here to come out here. Right? Then I'm going to pick up a smaller bead. So this is a 1x2, but you can use probably an 11/0 here. You can use a little teeny weeny druck bead, maybe. Anything really small will fit here. 15/0 will be too small, but I think an 11/0 would work fine if you don't want to do the 1x2 millimeter rondelle. But I'm just doing the 1x2, just like the way it looks. I happen to have them. So I'm just going to keep adding these all the way around, just like that, until I come down to the other end. And then when I come down to the other end, I'm just going to, so here I'll be coming out of this pearl here. I'm just going to work my way around to the other side. So you can just go ahead and do that. Just come through just use these as your turn. Come around, come out the gray, this gray bead, come through here, and get the other side done. All right, so that's all you're doing, is you're just putting those 1x2s all the way around. You're going to work around your other side, just and come through here and put them on this side. All right, so get that done and then meet me back here and it'll be clasp time. All right, see you in a few. Okay, we're back and I finished all the sides of my bracelet. I'm all embellished and it's curved really nicely. Let me just back off for a second. It's curved really nicely. Now I'm going to put the clasp on. So here are my pieces. I only have this copper one and I actually did a previous clip and I messed it up, so I already cut the loop off and I don't have another one. So what I did here is, here's if you happen to have the bail, I mean a spacer is better. I just clipped, I clipped the loop off so that I could use it. All right, so what we're going to do is you're going to add a thread now. So just add your thread in pattern. All right, so here's my bracelet. I'm just going to come through one of the previous beads. I want to come out these gray beads here. So here, this one, and this one, just like that. I'll sew that guy in later. So of course I'm going to take this clasp off and redo it, but I did order them, they just didn't come in. All right, so pick up your spacer. I'm going to pull on really tight for this. So this is a little challenging, this part, but you can do it. If just a note, if you're a wire person, you can put a wire through and then just do the crimps and such. But I've done that before, so I thought I would try it with thread. So I'm going to pick up my spacer. I'm going to pick up my clasp. This is how it's going to go. It's just going to sit like that. All right. So I'm attached to my clasp right now, so all I have to do is come through the spacer, like that, and through this, here I'm coming out of here, through the other side of this pearl. So these 3 pearls are going to be our connection point. So when I pull, that's going to attach my clasp. Now, to reinforce it, because I think it's going to be easier to reinforce it as you go rather than after, I'm going to come back through. And I don't know if you can see this, but you'll see it when you're doing it. Through the loop on the clasp. Now you can't get through the loop and back through the spacer, so you're going to have to do it one at a time. And then back through the spacer. And then through the other side of the pearl again. All right, so now I've gotten that reinforced. Now as you go along, it's going to get a little harder because it's going to get tight. So then we're coming out of this pearl right here. I'm just going to advance through the next pearl. I'm going to do the exact same thing. You're probably not going to be able to see it as I do it, but I'm going to look for my loop and I'm going to make sure that my needle goes through the loop. I can see that loop. I don't know if you can, but it's going through. And then I have to come back again this way through the spacer and then through the pearl. Like that. And that's going to add my second. And don't pull too tight at this point because we have to be able to get in there again. So here I'm going to reinforce. I'm going to come through the loop, and I know you can't see it, but just go through that loop on your clasp, and then you're just going to go back through the spacer, like that, and through the pearl. Okay, so the last one is going to be the tough one because you want to start pulling a little at this point. So then we're just going to rotate and come through the next gray pearl, like that. Now you're going to have to get in there. So as I said, it's going to be tough for you to see me get in there, but I can actually see my loop, and I'm just getting through the loop that's on the clasp. I'm coming back through the spacer, like that, through the pearl. I know this is crazy, but it works. See how nice that is? And then I'm going to do it one last time. I'm going to reinforce this, and now you're just going to have to guess that you're coming through the loop, unless you can really see it. I'm looking really close. It's tough to see, but I do see the edge of it, and I'm through. So I know you can't see that on camera, but you will see it when you're looking at it. I'm going to come back through the clasp. I'm going to come back through this gray bead, and it's perfect. See how nice and tight that is? And then all you're going to do at this point is just add a bicone or a seed bead in between each one of these to cover up those threads. So that's one. Two. I'm using the little, the rondelle, sorry. The 1x2 rondelle. Three. I have my rondelle on, and I've got the first end of my clasp on. So that wasn't so bad, and it's nice and sturdy, and it's in really, it's really going to stay. So get that done, and I'm almost liking the the contrast with copper. Get that done, do the other side. I can't because I don't have one, and then meet me back here, and we'll check it all out. All right, so here we're back, and here are our bracelets, all in process, and one finished. So don't forget to sew your threads in and tie some half-hitch knots on the end here. I didn't because I wasn't sure if I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this copper piece, although it's growing on me. I kind of like that. It looks a little more funky with this contrast here. All right, so here's the gray and white one to go with this necklace. This is my set, the platinum and pearls and the black pearls. I'm waiting for the clasp on this. I hope you enjoyed this video. I wanted you to have something for the upcoming season. Autumn, winter, whatever. This is going to be my special season necklace. So I hope you enjoy this video. I hope you make this and post it on Facebook. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care.